Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. How are you, my two fishes friends? Thank you for showing up here, my water family. I am going to do this week 3 hands. We haven't done that in a while, right? And so the 3 hands that I'm doing this week are finances, career, and love. So let's start out with finances. How are you, Pisces? I hope you're well, and if you're here brand new, I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll subscribe. We do have a large Pisces following here, so you'll be right at home. And if you are the one that always comes back, if you're the ride or die, thanks for coming back, Pisces. I appreciate you. At the end of this reading, I'm going to tell you about how to access the extended, if that's what you want, and I'll tell you all about the sales. I have a few different sales that are going on this month for private reads. So let's get into it. Let's find out what's going on financially for you in the week ahead. Tell me about Pisces. Remember, it's a general reading. It won't resonate for everyone. We've got the 4 of Wands, stable finances, something to celebrate here. I feel like the end of something is coming here. So it almost feels like you're making the last payment on the mortgage, or the last payment on the car, or the last payment on the debt, or whatever it is. It feels like there is some sort of cycle or chapter of your life that's coming to an end. For some of you, it definitely is the last payment on the mortgage. It feels like with the home being here and the world card, that this is an accomplishment or a milestone, right? An achievement. So I feel like it is a happy achievement that you'll maybe for some of you, you're saving money and you finally make enough to put a down payment on something. It feels like that you will maybe after going over your finances, the week ahead is when you realize that this is showing up, because I feel like it's sort of been up in the air. Maybe you've been possibly waiting on a statement of some sort for them to tell you how much is left owing on whatever it is, the debt, on the car, on the mortgage, whatever it is. I feel like you're closing a chapter here, and I feel like it's after possibly you've just been diligent with making payments and you don't really know where it's at this time. We've got the 8 of Swords. We've got the Temperance card. Yeah, something is coming into balance. It's like a moment in time that is going to work for you. Oh, look at that. We've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords here. We've got the Death card in the reverse. So something is about to change. I'm going to say that when the Death card is here, we're sort of holding back from, or we don't trust the change. Change is hard, and maybe for you, change is hard. It feels like there is, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, I want to say that maybe you're in partnership with somebody, that you're paying a debt off with somebody. It could be a spouse, it could be an ex-spouse. It feels like that it's an honest debt. I want to say that you are being honest with it, that you're on time, your payments are always on time. So I think that financially here, I feel like somebody here needs a financial planner. I feel like you need maybe to figure out where you're at financially. And like a lot of us know where we're at financially, but maybe you're at a point where you're having something major that's changing in your life. So it feels like this is a major milestone in your life. So I feel like this King of Swords to me is usually the lawyer, or the judge or the magistrate. Maybe you're making, maybe you're no longer going to be receiving payments from a spouse for children, or no longer going to be making those payments. The Queen of Swords is somebody who's trying to find, the stability of it. I'm just going to be honest and truthful with myself about what is left. And so I feel like financially that you're about to come to some sort of a big switch up in your life, or a big milestone is what it feels like. I feel as though with the Death card in reverse, though, it feels as though somebody has been waiting for something to change, or waiting for the end of something to arrive. And I feel like the World card is that thing. Tell me what the World card is all about, please, for Pisces. We've got the 3 of Swords. It's been a hard trek here. Feels like it's been an uphill battle. We've got another 3. Are you seeing 3s possibly? We've got the Empress. Oh, look at that. Abundance. It really does feel like something's about to shift. Your finances are going to become stable after a time frame where it's been really hard. I'm going to say that it probably felt harder than it really is, because the Eight of Swords is here, and it feels like there's been a lot of overthinking going on. The Temperance being here tells me something is healing. And so something that you didn't have any idea about. So things weren't as they seem. Maybe you're further ahead on the payments than you think you are. It feels like you're waiting on some sort of a statement. I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the stability that's coming financially. It feels like the Three of Pentacles is telling me here that something is finally in cooperation. There's going to be some sort of partnership or collaboration that I feel that you're going to be gaining some abundance, or you're going to, it's like for you, the last queen was the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like before you step into your Empress shoes, feminine or masculine, that it's finally time to get the finances underway, to get them balanced. It feels like you may have had help from family or friends to do that. And by that, I mean, when the Three of Pentacles is here, it's about information flow. Somebody who's maybe teaching you how to budget, or teaching you how to go over the algorithm, or the of what's coming in, what's going out. We all have algorithms in our life, right? It feels like the Three of Swords here tells me that this is giving me worry a little bit with the Moon energy and the Three of Swords. I think you're worried for nothing, because I think you're further along than you think that you are. Tell me what you're worrying about here. Yeah, see, justice is coming here, and there's an opportunity showing up here. It's an opportunity that I feel is going to put you in a little bit of a pause. The opportunity is something small, but nonetheless is an opportunity to balance your finances, to balance things in the Pentacle world for you. The Hanged Man is looking at it with perspective, holding back, making a decision to sacrifice something in order to take on this new opportunity. Tell me what the opportunity is. You've got the King of Cups. It's something that's under the surface. It's something that has to do with work, that is going to cause you to either have some sort of promotion or a raise. It feels like with the Eight of Pentacles that you've been working really hard. And I feel like somebody is noticing that you have been working really hard at creating something. Maybe it's a business you've been creating on the side, because we do have 8 and 1 pentacle with the King is the 9 of Pentacles, which is telling me stability and abundance. And I'm really confident that I can make this work. If you do have a side hustle, I feel like you're keeping it under the surface, that you're not really telling anybody about it, or that you've really been working hard on your finances to clear up some debt, or to free up some money, to get something paid off. It really feels like you've been working hard on it. I feel like the opportunity that's coming possibly is an opportunity to make more money, and that might be through a side hustle. It might be through an opportunity that somebody that you know who makes a bit of money is going to offer to you. There's a decision that needs to be made here. There's 2 pentacles, and so that sort of makes a little more sense when we look at the Queen and the King of Swords. This person is likely someone who has a little more experience than you. Maybe they're a little bit older. Both of these people have white hair, so age doesn't necessarily come with wisdom, but I think in this case it does. And then we have the Queen of Swords. I feel like you need to make a decision that is not emotion-based, that is very logical, that is going to bring you into balance. And I feel like this World card is the beginning of it. It feels like something is about to shift really big in your life financially here. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Hermit energy, we've got the 2 of Swords, and we have the Knight of Cups. So I'm going to say go with your heart, but go with your intuition as well, because the Hermit is here, and so is your energy here, which is Pisces, right? The Hanged Man energy is here. The 2 of Swords tells me you're going to have to make some decisions now, because I feel like it's almost like it's been Groundhog Day for you. Work, eat, sleep, pay the bills. Work, eat, sleep, pay the bills. But now I feel like you're going to have some money that is going to be freed up to do something you really love. And I feel like that's where the decision comes in. So use the Hermit energy to your advantage. Go in, think about it. The Hermit is all about the details. Hermit is Virgo energy. Do the self-audit. Do I really need it? Is it a nice to have? Is it a need to have? Do I really want it? Am I able to afford it? So I feel like the 2 of Swords is telling me that in your abundance, you will be making a decision that will make your heart happy. And it does feel like it has something to do with something you've been working on. So if you have a side hustle, if you have something you're selling on a website, if you have an Etsy store, it feels like you're about to get more more business. You're about to be getting more money, I would say, because the 8 of Pentacles and the 1 is 9. And so I feel like this person could be somebody who's helping you with wisdom about how to do that. This person is like a money manager, or somebody who's like an accountant or an actuary, or somebody who can really give you some really good advice about what to do next in terms of if you want to make your side hustle a business. It feels like yeah, something's coming back around. It feels like something financial showed up a long while ago, but maybe you didn't have the time, energy, effort, or money to put into it. And I feel like it's coming back now. And it's coming back because I feel like you are in this Empress energy. You're doing better with managing your money. You're doing better with your stability. Now is a better time for you to be able to look at it and say, maybe that's something we should look at again. Let's talk about your career, friend. Let's talk about career energy. Tell me about Pisces, career, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's going down in career. Tell me about career. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the 2 of Cups. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. It does feel here like you are trying to make a decision about something to do with your career. And it feels as though you've been thinking about this for a long while. The 2 of Cups tells me about a bond. It tells me that you're bonded to the people you work with. You like what you do, possibly. But the Queen of Cups is telling me that you're like in a little bit of disillusionment, that you thought that you'd be further along, maybe financially, after putting in a lot of time and energy and effort here, after being really careful, after, heading up projects. It feels like you've been there for a while, that maybe you thought you'd be a little bit further along financially. Tell me more. We've got the 5 of Wands, we've got the King of Pentacles, and we've got the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, so it does feel to me like you want to make some sort of a decision to possibly make more money or get more stability. But I think that you're keeping it under the surface at this time. We've got 2, 3, 4 Pentacles, right? And so the 2 Pentacles is telling me a decision. There's a decision here that you've been sort of holding back from. It feels like maybe you think that there's too much competition for the position. It could be an internal position where you are, but it does feel to me like somebody is looking at maybe just going to a new workplace altogether. The King of Pentacles is here. And so I feel like you have Queen and King energy here. It feels like maybe you want to maybe go from Queen to King energy, go from being like the Vice President to the President, or the one who is maybe assistant to the director. Maybe you want to be the director. It feels like that you've been in the assistant position for a while, and it makes someone else look better. I want to say you do all the footwork and it makes someone else look better. It reminds me of people who work for a lawyer. The people who work for a lawyer, they're the one that's making the phone calls, digging up all the information, right? Looking at all the laws and bylaws and everything. And then they hand it over to the lawyer who sort of executes all of that. So it feels like you're the one that's been maybe a little bit underpaid for what you do. But I feel like it is something that you've grown to have bonds with people who work in the same who work in the same, work at the same job that you do. It feels like I'm going to say that you are bonded to it. And so maybe it's a little bit of being in a comfort zone, I want to say, because the King of Pentacles is Taurus, also Virgo and Capricorn, but even the earth signs, we've got Virgo here, right, and Capricorn. So it feels like with the earth signs, you sort of like things to be grounded and stable and slow, and it's easy to get into a comfort zone. It's not just Taurus that gets into the comfort zone, right? It is the earth signs in general, and anybody can get into a comfort zone. But I feel like you're feeling a little bit stuck, or possibly like you can't make a change, or you don't want to let go. That would be the Taurus energy I'm talking about, that it's time for you to do something different, but you are in a comfort zone, or you're in a place where you're not really open to change. Tell me why the 2 of Cups is here. We've got the 6 of Pentacles. We've got the Hanged Man. Oh, you know what it feels like here. It feels like somebody here is thinking about leaving the job, but it feels like there is somebody at the job that you could be romantically interested in. And so this is a person that I feel like you show up to work looking your best, smelling your best, because you know that you're going to see that person as the first person you're going to see when you walk into the office. It feels like you've been putting a lot of extra time, maybe a lot of extra overtime, and you're not getting a whole lot back. You know, sometimes you work for a company who's like, you know, even though you were here like 30 minutes late, we're not going to pay you for it. But if you put in 5 hours on a Saturday, maybe we'll pay you for it. Like, it feels like one of those places where it pays you well, but not necessarily what you're worth. I feel like with this Hanged Man energy with the Four of Swords is telling me that you're really trying to figure out the good reasons why you should stay where you are. I feel like you want to stay where you are. You're trying to get clarity of the mind to make a decision. You're sort of going over the prospects of what could happen from here. You're in a pause. I don't think that you're ready to jump ship and go anywhere right away, but this does tell me, you know, she looks a little sad. I'm going to say that you're the one that's compassionate and kind and loving, and you take care of everybody around you, even in the workplace. You know, the workplace begins to feel like a family. I feel like you're feeling a little bit disillusioned with it looks like this particular spot is opening up and they're not offering it to you. Maybe they're telling you you've got to apply for the position, but it feels like here that you will you're looking at, should I apply for the position or should I do something else elsewhere outside of the company? What's this? We've got the Magician, we've got the Temperance card, and we've got the Eight of Wands. Yeah, should I go or not? I feel like the Eight of Wands tells me that that you're looking at, you know, we've got the wands that are smashing through the window here, and I feel like it's almost as if you've been overlooked. I feel like you've been overlooked before, and you're the person that has all the skills and the resources. You're the person that everybody comes to as a subject matter expert. You know your worth. And I feel like there is a moment that's coming here that it feels like a moment of escape, or that you need to escape is what it feels like. I need to make a little bit more noise so they notice me, because I feel like you're the person who just always shows up on time, does what you're supposed to, doesn't ruffle feathers, doesn't rock the boat. And I feel like it's almost like it's allowed for you to be overlooked. I feel like you've been at this place for a while, and possibly it's come to this place of maybe you're thinking it's time to go, because the Ten of Swords is here. Maybe you just don't like the company you work for. I've been in that place too before, where I love the people I worked with, but the management or the people who own the business just sucked and were unapproachable. Like, sometimes the Queen of Swords can be seen as unapproachable, or someone who's not really willing to bend, or isn't really giving out kudos or telling you you're doing a good job, or really I feel like you're doing a lot of work and they're really not saying anything about it. I feel like you're not feeling the love here anymore. So I feel like somebody here is about to possibly make a change here. It feels like you're about to make a decision with the Judgment card, because I feel like the Judgment card is a nudge from the universe saying maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for you to take a different road. If you want something different than you've ever gotten, you've got to do something different than you've ever done. And I feel like it's saying the King of Swords is here. You're the smartest one. You're the one who has all the facts. You know the job inside and out. You have the education. You might have the certificate or the master's or the bachelor's. And I feel like whatever it is, they keep overlooking you. With the Five of Pentacles, they keep overlooking you here. Tell me, what is the outcome? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the Chariot, and we've got the Eight of Swords. I think if you go, you make more money. I think you will find a job that will be a lot more stable for the future, that will help you take care of your health, take care of your wealth. I feel like there is a decision that's coming here, a very sharp decision, and I think that it's probably, for some of you, it's the realization that's coming in the week ahead that possibly this isn't the place where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I think that you're starting to look elsewhere because the place where you are working right now is not necessarily offering you any place to grow. All right, let's talk about love. For Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about love. Pisces in love, please. Tell me about Pisces. got the Six of Wands, but the Justice card and the Three of Cups. So Pisces, I'm going to say if you're single, keep yourself social. I think that you're going to find somebody in some sort of a social group or someplace that you've been invited to. For some of you, this is someone inviting you out. Like maybe it is a date, possibly. I feel like if it is a date, if you already know this person and you've already maybe been out with them before, you've met them before, I think this is somebody who's quite nice to look at. I'm going to say feminine or masculine, that they're quite attractive on the outside. I also think that this person has a lot of wisdom because they've come from a really hard place. The Six of Wands is about coming from the fight or the war. It's also about having some sort of victory after that. So this person has been through a lot but is doing really well in their lives. They're getting a lot of attention, a lot of people around them. They have a lot of people cheering them on. I feel like they have a good friend group. I feel like this could be someone that you could meet while you're social, or maybe you've already met this person out and maybe they're going to ask you out again. We've got the Justice card here, and it feels like you feel really good when you're with them. Like it's a very highly intelligent conversation. You feel it's very balanced. Feels like a person who makes it really, the conversation flows. It's really easy to speak with them. And I think there's a lot of attraction here as well. Tell me more about Pisces. We've got the Lovers. Yeah, there's a connection here that I feel that you are really taken with here. Tell me more. I've got the Seven of Cups, but you don't really know what's going on. So I'm going to say for those of you who are not connected to someone, I feel like someone is coming in the future. I feel like there is somebody who is showing up in the future that you've never met before, so stay social. I feel like you are meeting some sort of really beautiful, charismatic connection here. Somebody who I feel that you will have a deep connection with, or you'll feel like you've known them forever, and it's going to be very confusing. But I feel like if you're hopeful to meet somebody, I feel like you will. The star energy is here. For those of you who have been manifesting for someone to come back and ask you out again, I think definitely that's what's going on here. So it does feel like that the Justice card tells me you get justice in the Three of Cups. So whatever that is, it feels like either they've asked you out or you guys said the last time you saw each other, maybe you exchanged information and said we should get together again. I think that's the conversation that happens this week. If you are hopeful, if you're manifesting it, I feel like it shows up. I feel like for some of you, you might be dreaming about this person. It does feel like there's a deep connection here, like a deep emotional or energetic connection here. You might already be dreaming about this person possibly. We do have the Seven of Swords. Why is that? The Nine of Pentacles. Do I have enough? Am I enough for this new beginning? All of the sudden, all of the swords begin to creep in the future, I feel. So it feels like maybe we don't really know each other very well, but it feels like this is where you get all the answers to the questions that are under the surface, right? And the Nine of Pentacles is this person stable like me? Or are they confident? Like it's when you really get to start to know somebody is when the door opens and we start really dating one-on-one here. You're looking for a stable connection. I feel something to move slowly. Tell me about Justice, please. Oh, look at that. The Seven of Swords came out. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. We've got the High Priestess. And we've got the Sun. Okay. It feels like with this person here that right away it's like they're not telling me something. That's what it feels like. They're not quite telling me something. The Sun is here, but it's with the High Priestess. And although the High Priestess is here, that's the one who is intuitive and kind of psychic. With the Sun being here, it's like the intuitive energy or the psychic energy is on fire. It feels like you are going to go with your gut, and your gut is telling you that somebody here is hiding some things under the surface, or maybe you're not quite sure about the decision or whether to go out with them, because I'm going to say listen to your intuition, Pisces. You're quite psychic, especially if it's in the moon, and I feel like you should really go with your intuition. I feel that this person has been silent with you, maybe since you saw them last. Maybe you haven't really been chatting with them, so you're unsure. It feels like this Seven of Cups here is like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Tell me about Tell me about the Three of Cups. Your person could maybe be a Libra, a Leo, or a Gemini, possibly an Aquarius. Yeah. Tell me about the Three of Cups. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. We've got the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Cups. You know what I think? I feel like this person sees you as someone who might be a long-term person, and I feel like you will get communication soon, but I think they haven't been communicating with you. I think it's because the Queen of Cups, because I think that they felt a really deep connection to you. Not only are they attracted to you on the surface, but they're attracted to your energy. They're attracted to your empathic and psychic nature. It feels like if this is a Leo, they're definitely quite psychic. This is a Libra, possibly a Gemini. Geminis can be quite psychic. We got Aquarius if they're on the cusp. They are Pisces. You guys would have a really deep connection. So I feel like there is going to be communication. We're going to talk about that in the extension, when the communication comes and what is the communication. Because it feels like somebody here is sort of freaked out, that they think that this is probably my long-term connection, and that's why they're holding back. That's why you may not have heard from them. And so we're going to go into the extension and talk about that. If you're interested in coming into the extension, you can please look in the pinned comment. That's where the membership link is if you want to come to the membership and look at the extensions. And if you are interested in a private read, please know that private read sales are on right now. There is a code in the pinned comment that you can take to Hypsee. When you make an appointment for a pre-recorded reading, you will get 10% off. If you are someone who is interested in trying a live call, a call or face-to-face or in text, can do that as well. Between 5 and 75% off those if you're interested, just over the summertime, just to say happy solstice, happy Canada Day, and happy Independence Day. Okay, let's go to the extension. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. It looks like somebody is about to make an investment here. And if you're going to be in the extension, I will talk to you about that. If this is where we part, that's okay, because I'll be back, because I'm always back, Pisces. You guys take care. Bye-bye.